All rise. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. The Supreme Court of the State of Michigan is now in special session. The Honorable Chief Justice Young, Judge Feeney, Judge Lohmeyer, Judge Arnold presiding, and Judge Beagle, the right award recipient.
Good morning. Court looks a little different today than usual, but welcome to the 14th annual Michigan Adoption Day. And our theme today, Giving Thanks for Families, is a perfect fit for this special time of year as families gather to celebrate Thanksgiving. So today, all across Michigan, families will have a special reason to celebrate and give thanks as they become forever families for an adopted child. National Adoption Day is a collective national effort to raise awareness of children in foster care waiting for permanent and loving families. Since its inception on this day, nearly 59,000 children have had their adoptions finalized on this day. Here in Michigan today, more than 90 children will have their dreams come true. As we mark our 14th year being a part of this national effort, we encourage courts statewide to participate by holding adoption proceedings and arranging an open house and speaking to service organizations or simply sharing adoption information with our community leaders and members. Our purpose today is to give the public a window into the adoption process. We certainly celebrate adoptions that will be finalized, but we also must keep sight of the bigger goal, which is educating the public and raising awareness about the great rewards of being an adoptive parent. Adoption Day is about creating new families and the security and permanence that they give our children. It's about opening homes, but more importantly, opening our hearts to children. There are more smiles here in the courtroom and across the state than we see all year, I guarantee you. And those misty eyes that we frequently see are tears of happiness. I have the pleasure of welcoming to the Supreme Court bench today colleagues who are dedicated to helping children succeed in finding loving families. In that regard, today we are joined by Kent County Judge Kathleen Feeney, Monroe County Judges Lohmeyer and Arnold to finalize adoptions in those counties. Also joining us is Genesee County Judge Beagle, who will be honored today with this year's Daniel J. Wright Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you for being here. And later in our program, Genesee County Judge Richard Ewell and Ginny Barkey will present their colleagues, Judge Beagle, with the award. So to the families who are joining us this morning, thank you. Thank you for welcoming these children into your homes and being willing to participate and raise awareness about the importance of adoption. While this day marks the end of a legal process, another process officially begins, and that's the process of raising a child, and that's an exciting, challenging, and meaningful human experience. Since each child is unique and comes with no instructions, I can tell you, no parenting experience is exactly the same as any other, but what we do have in common is the great joy and satisfaction that can come from being a part of a loving family and seeing a child grow into a successful and caring adult. And that's exactly what my wife and Linda have experienced with our two boys. They do not acknowledge that, but we do enjoy their love and successes and the satisfaction that they no longer live in our home. On a more serious note, in Scripture, Apostle Paul advised to give thanks in all circumstances. And what sounds like simple advice, always giving thanks, is in reality a very difficult thing to practice. Because you and I both know that sometimes being thankful is not easy. So today and every day, give thanks for the gift of these children. Give thanks for the patience they teach us. Give thanks for the messes they make. Give thanks for their joyful hearts and smiling faces. Give thanks for the things they break, and they will. And give thanks for their hugs and kisses. But most of all, give thanks that God has chosen you to give these children a loving home. Now, I am pleased to introduce Nick Lyon, Director of the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. Nick and I actually share a special bond because both of us succeeded Maura Corrigan in our jobs. And as a result, we have devote considerable effort to the unenviable task of trying to live up to the standards she set. Director Lyon?
With your permission, I'm going to face this way. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. First of all, I would just like to say...
Excuse me, try and bend the mic back just a little bit, Victoria. That'll help a little bit, so we get it.
Thank you, Chief Justice Young. I would first like to acknowledge this is my second adoption day as Director of the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. And Chief Justice Young is very correct in recognizing and honoring former Chief Justice Corrigan and former Director Corrigan's efforts and her advocacy for children across the state. Adoption Day is probably my favorite event of the year. We have many staff in our department who deal with so many challenges on a daily basis, and it's something I've learned as the director. And since we've consolidated our departments, both Health and Human Services, much of what we have tried to do is really identify ways that we can help families through both the events that happen before an adoption, during adoption, and after an adoption. And I'm quite proud of the effort that our 14,000 strong at the Department of Health and Human Services put into this every single day. Today, there are about 12,100 children in Michigan's foster care system. The goal of most of these children is reunification with their families, but it's our responsibility to ensure that they are safe. And if they can't return safely, they need a loving home. And I want to express my appreciation to all of you for doing your part today. Today, we have 2,600 children in foster care, and approximately 300 of those children are waiting for adoption. And we hope that events like today will help spur more people to make this sacrifice and take on this opportunity to share your love and your families. I want to thank the Michigan Supreme Court, the State Court Administrative Office, and Chief Justice Young for hosting this event, which has become a great way to kick off Thanksgiving week. And I also want to thank our private agency partners who are represented here today, and welcome Judge Cheryl Lohmeyer and Judge Frank Arnold from Monroe County and Judge Kathleen Feeney from Kent County. And I'd also be remiss if I didn't mention last year's Daniel J. Wright Award winner, Mr. Stephen Yeager, who's really taught me what it means to serve in this role in so many ways. Steve is retiring next year, and this is his last adoption day as a staff member of the Department of Health and Human Services, unless we can talk him out of retiring, which I don't think he's going to let me do. So next year, he'll be a guest, I hope, and we'll come back. So thank you, Steve. I'm going to ask you. We're fortunate to have all the partners who come together in such a way to make our system work, but today really isn't about us. It's about the families. And I want to thank the adoptive parents so much who've stepped up and opened up your hearts and opened up your homes to children who need you. You're providing love to your children, you're providing stability, and you're providing forever homes. As I sit back with my family, probably sometime around halftime of the Lions game on Thursday, I will express my appreciation and thanks to my family, my children, my wife, my parents, my step-parents, the health of my brothers and sisters and their families. But there's also a special place in my heart, and I will express my appreciation to all of them for what you are doing here today. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you. And now it's time for the presentation of the Daniel J. Wright Lifetime Achievement Award. Judges Barkey and Yule.
I'm not trying to be rude to anybody, but I want to talk to Judge Spiegel, so I'm going to turn the microphone this way. First of all, I would like to thank you for selecting the nomination that Judge Yule and I made for Duncan Beagle as the winner of the Dan Wright Award. My acquaintance and friendship with Dan started when he was assigned duties with the Friend of the Court Bureau statewide, and I was in the process of my 17 years of being the Genesee County Friend of the Court. We used to laugh that one of his jobs was to reel me in. When I got out of hand, which according to Judge Yule, my boss now, is still happening all the time. But I knew all I had to do was convince Dan that what I was trying to do would affect the welfare of a child in a good way, and he would always try with me to make it happen. Our last conversation was at a time when I was winning my battle with cancer and he was losing his. And that conversation was not about that dreaded disease, but about how we found a new way in Genesee County to get adoptions done quicker for children whose parents' rights were terminated and they had identified adoptive parents. He called me. He really loved the program. He made me promise to make sure other counties knew about it. Mind you, he was on sick leave. He never had to make that call. But he made it from his hospital bed because he cared. Judge Beagle and I have known each other since we were kids, and our dads practiced law out of the same building in downtown Flint. And it is a direct honor to Dan's memory and life that he should be the one to be given this award. He's working on his third decade as a judge in the family division of the Genesee County Circuit Court. All you have to do with Judge Beagle is to convince him that a moment, a second of a child's life might be bettered, and he is on it. And like Dan, he doesn't stop when he leaves the building. His work with agencies that affect children in our community is legendary. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to brag about both Dan and Judge Beagle. The world is a much, much better place because they are part of it.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chief Justice and
Good
other
morning. Welcome.
honorable judges. I am going to try not to cry today.
We all are.
I've known Judge Beagle for more than 50 years. Played basketball together at Flint Southwestern. He was a year behind me, but I went into law, he followed, and we both became judges eventually. I can honestly say that I do not know a more courageous person. And I've talked to Duncan about his circumstance and marveled at his response to it, and it is simply amazing. When I was asked to participate in this presentation, I jumped at the chance. And I cannot think of anyone that I know currently who is more deserving of this honor than Judge Beagle. He has been the leader in issues with respect to children, and I applaud him and I honor him. I have with me the award that I'd like to present to Judge Beagle.
going to ask if you show it to us. Sure, I'll show it to you. Pretty sharp. That's very good. My fellow judges that are here today, and the court staff, state officials, and certainly the families and children that are here for Adoption Day, I want to say welcome, and I certainly want to thank everyone for receiving the Daniel Wright Lifetime Achievement Award. I did not know the late Mr. Wright, but I've heard a lot about him and know what an advocate he was for children and families and so forth. So this is really a special honor. It also reminds you when they use the words lifetime achievement, how long you've probably been on the bench and how long you've been a lawyer. But still, it's very special. I want to thank my fellow judge in Genesee County, Probate Judge Jenny Barkey, for nominating me. I want to recognize and thank our Chief Judge, Judge Richard Buell, who's here today, my former high school teammate in basketball, who allows me to go out into the community and do some of the things that I love. But I especially want to thank my lovely wife, Dana, who's here today, and my secretary, Dawn, who allow me to kind of go out and do my thing. This is a special year for me. This is my 25th anniversary for three things. Number one, I was appointed to become a judge. Secondly, I came down with an unusual ailment that placed me in a wheelchair. And finally, it was the year I got married. So within an 8-month period in 1991, there were significant changes in my life. So to receive an award like this is really kind of frosting on the cake. As many of you know, Flint's going through some very tough times right now with the water crisis. And I've always had a passion for kids. I think my dad brought me up that you give back to your community. I've never had any trouble being part of an organization that looks out for the welfare of kids and families. You don't do that kind of work with the idea that you're going to receive any kind of special award. You do it because of the enjoyment you get out of it and perhaps changing somebody's life. So once again, I want to thank everybody that's here today. Again, by the way, I should mention that my wife and I adopted our only child at birth, and he's now 22 years of age, and it certainly allowed me to reflect, as well as my wife, on how lucky we were to adopt a very special child. So once again, thank you very much. I'm sure there's many people around the state of Michigan that are more deserving of this award than me, but I will receive it and thank all of you for this very, very special honor. All right, now we'll get down to the other business of the day, and that is to finalize some adoptions. Judge Feeney, will you finalize the Kent County adoptions?
I shall. I'll have my clerk Liz Shear. She's going to call the case for us.
Good morning, Your Honors.
Good morning.
I'd like to present for our first adoption today, Caden and Connor Gordon, along with their parents, Jason and Charity, Amanda Kangas from Lutheran Adoption Service, and lots of family and friends.
Thank you so much. As stated, this is the date and time set for the adoption confirmation hearing regarding Caden and Connor Gordon. My name is Kathleen Feeney. I am one of soon-to-be 7 Kenton County Circuit Court judges who have the privilege of presiding over adoption confirmation hearings. I typically say in this courtroom, but I'm guessing also in this courtroom, we don't do a lot of very fun things. We do divorce cases where moms and dads aren't going to be living together anymore, custody paternity support cases where moms and dads don't reside together, and in all those cases we have to decide what's in the children's best interest and what's going to work well for them. We deal with juvenile delinquency cases where boys and girls make bad choices, and we try to help them make better choices. We do the child protection hearings where parents don't make good choices. We try to help them make better choices. We do termination of parental rights cases, personal protection order cases, parental waiver cases, and then adoptions. And this is the most fun that we ever get to have. And typically, I only get to have it one afternoon a month. And this year, because the Supreme Court Administrative Office has bestowed upon me the honor of being here, I get to also celebrate with all of you today. As I told some people, usually when I come in this courtroom, I'm sweating bullets. But today, not so much. So I'm really glad that we could be here today. Today changes nothing about how Mom and Dad feel about Caden and Connor. It just makes everything final and binding and forever. So I'm going to ask Ms. Kangas to give us her report and recommendation at this time, please.
Yes, I've been working
I'm
with
sorry,
the Gordon.
we're streaming this, so I'm going to ask you to stay near the microphone.
There you go.
I've been working with the Gordon family now since early 2016, and it's been an absolute pleasure to just watch them as parents. They have such joy during every home visit. It's very clear and evident that this is a big day for them moving forward. They are very family-oriented. They are all about Caden and Connor being a part of their forever family, as well as making sure Caden and Connor know where they came from and know their siblings. So I respectfully recommend today that the adoption for both Caden and Connor be finalized with the Gordon family.
Thank you, Ms. Kangas. Mom and Dad, anything you want to say on this special occasion?
We would just like to thank everybody that has helped us find our forever family. It's been a long road, but this is why everything that happened was meant to be, because we can't imagine any other kids besides these, because they're amazing.
Dad, how about you? He's taking your name tag there. So.
Say hi.
Hello, Mr. Caden. He said it's a good thing to be here.
He gives a thumbs up.
That's wonderful. I also open it up to any of the caseworkers, the case managers, or family. Anyone who wanted to say anything on this special occasion? I know that there's a lot of people here to support you.
I would just like to say thank you on behalf of Wellspring for all that you have done for these boys, and we are so glad that you guys welcome us into your home forever now.
Thank you. Anyone else? I know there's more people out there who want to stand up. Come on. That's okay. We have lots of Kleenex, so go ahead. What would you like to say? Anything else? Yeah. I can tell you that lots of people, once they get to this point, because it is such a long process, it is, isn't it? Yes. That sometimes they just mail it in, and I shed 1,000 tears because I don't get a chance to see the kids and get a chance to celebrate with the family as well. So, anyone else? One last call? It's very clear that there's a lot of love here and a lot of support for you folks. And you are the shining example of how when people open up their hearts and homes in foster care, how it's amazing that what happens then. I tell people sometimes kids don't start off where they should be, but hopefully they end up where they need to be. And these boys definitely need to be with you. So before I have you come up here, I want to share with you a poem. Judge John Steckedy, who was our chief probate judge for, it seems like about 40 years, he found this poem, and he contacted the woman who wrote it. Her name is Carol Lynn Pearson. And he asked Ms. Pearson if we could share this poem for all of our adoption confirmation hearings, and I believe that for the last 30 or 40 years we've done this for every adoption confirmation hearing. It's not like Dr. Seuss. It's not like one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. It doesn't rhyme, but perhaps you can put it in the boys' book, and every November 22nd, get it out. It doesn't even have a title, but it has some real significance, I believe. And I want to read it for you now. This is what she said. I did not plant you, true, but when the season is done, when the alternate prayers for sun and for rain are counted, when the pain of weeding and the pride of watching are through, then I will hold you high, a shining sheaf above the 1,000 seeds grown wild. Not my planting, but by heaven, my harvest, my own child. So without further ado, let's have Mom and Dad and Kate and Connor. You can go right around this way. You're going to come right up behind here. And if you need to take pictures, you can. That's no problem. I've got my gavel. I've got my orders. And I don't know, Chief Justice, if you, I can scoot over a little bit. I don't want you to get hit. There you go.
That's a big gavel.
It is. It is. Have gavel will travel. So, all right. Are you okay? Do you want to come and sit with me? Oh, hello, sweetie. Hi. This is Connor. And that's Caden. Oh, did you want to hold your, we have bookmarks with their names on them. Did you want to hold yours? And we'll let Mom hold brothers? Yes. There we go. All right, and here's your poems. There's one for Caden, and then there's one for Connor.
Thank you so much.
And these are your orders of adoption. You see this? These state that the State of Michigan, 17th Judicial Circuit, Family Division in the County of Kent, in the matter of Caden Frederick Gordon. Is that you? Is that you? Date of birth, September 30th, 2014. And in the matter of Connor Burke Gordon, date of birth January 7, 2016. The court finds that a petition for an order of adoption was filed. All necessary orders terminating parental rights have been entered. The adoptee, that's you, was made a ward of the court. And now I have to read this because my bosses who sit on this bench typically have informed me that I need to read this. That any appeal of the decision to terminate parental rights has reached disposition. I know. That no appeal, application for leave to appeal, or motion for rehearing or reconsideration is pending. And that the time for all appellate proceedings in this matter has expired. Yay! That was a big smile. And then it goes on to say that the adoption of the adoptee, that's you, Caden, you're the adoptee, by the petitioners, that's your mom and dad, is desirable and in the best interest of the adoptees. It is therefore ordered that from and after this date, the parents of the adoptees are Jason Ray Gordon and Charity Jean Gordon, and the names of the adoptees are Caden Frederick Gordon and Connor Burt Gordon, and the adoptees, if wards, are discharged, and all I have to do is borrow this pen.
Oops.
Oh, thank you. I'll use that too. All right.
You launched that Mickey pretty far.
He's got an arm.
There's one, and I gotta do one more. Just one more. Yes, I know. Raise those hands. Celebrate. This. And it's official. And would you like to make it super official? Do you want to bang the gavel? All right. Here. Now make sure you don't whack anybody. You take this. You got it? You got the picture? Look over there. Can you get the picture? Okay. And you know what to do with this, right? He says, I'm going to chew on it. Can you bang right here? Oh. Yeah! I understand now. Wait, did you want to try two? You want to try two, Connor? Here, Mom will help you. Ready? Yay! Congratulations, Mom. Congratulations, Dad. And I believe that we're supposed to go down now. We're going to take a picture, and you guys get to have a bear. There's a bear. Do you want to pick out one of the bears? Okay. Excellent. Let's do that. Leave my glasses here. Come on this way. Can you get behind me? Yeah. Excellent. This is the fun part. Yes.
Not necessary. Come on over. You guys have a lot more fun than I do.
We usually have these in half-an-hour segments, so there's usually lots of other talking and things like that, but I'm trying to keep the show moving along.
I got you. Now I invite Judges Lohmeyer and Arnold to finalize the Monroe County adoption.
I have one more.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I got ahead of the program.
Very good. Go right ahead.
Your Honors, for our second Kent County adoption, we have Denijah Clayton, along with her mother, Devetta, Abigail Johnson from Bethany Christian Services, and other family and friends.
Thank you so much.
Denijah's attorney, Mary Bennett.
Very good. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
As I said before, I'm Judge Kathleen Feeney, and I'm so pleased to be here today. Some of my compatriots were the ones, I believe it was Judge Quist, who was assigned to Denijah's case. And I am not he, but I will be sure to tell him how beautiful you are. Judge Quist has moved on to do civil criminal work, and he has permitted me to go ahead and do the adoption confirmation hearing today. So I don't want to repeat all the wonderful things I said before, because that would be kind of boring for Denijah. And as a fourth grader? Third grader. I got it right the first time. She's, I'm sure, going to catch me on that. I do want to state, though, that in these cases that come before the court that bring these young children to our attention, oftentimes they come to us and the circumstances are rather dire. Oftentimes they have experienced lots of different trauma, and we try our best to try to help them throughout all of that. There's not a lot of happiness sometimes, and in life we have to look for those moments of bright light, those moments that make us go, yes, this is fabulous. Sometimes those moments don't happen often enough, and sometimes we get them like today, where it's all happiness and everybody's smiling and everybody's excited. So I hope that you will remember today, because not every young girl gets to stand up in the Supreme Court chambers and be adopted and be able to tell everyone, the whole world, that you're glad that this is your forever family. Even when grandparents become parents, it's just the same. So we're so glad that we can have you folks here today. So I'm going to ask the worker if she would make her, Ms. Johnson, if you can make your report and recommendation at this time, please.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm so happy to be here today and just excited for this family. I've been working with them for the past year and a half. It's been a long journey, and they've shown incredible dedication, commitment, their love and support. The network of family and friends and even caseworkers who have shown up here today are, just have shown how happy we are that we're finally at this day. And Devetta's commitment and love to Denijah is just incredible and just a wonderful testament for an adoption story. And I'm just so excited to recommend that her adoption be confirmed today.
Very good. Thank you so much. Ms. Benedict.
Your Honor, Denijah's had a long, painful journey. And in the last year that she's been with her grandmother, she's really settled in, done very well, and is a very happy young lady and in a good place. So I would also support this. Thank you.
Very good. Let me ask Mom, Ms. Clayton, anything you wanted to say on this lovely occasion?
I do. I want to say, first of all, I really appreciate being here this morning. Thank you so much for having us here. I want to thank God for keeping me in the process. I do want to say, being a grandparent, I didn't do so well as a mom, but being a grandparent, it gives me a chance to redeem myself. So I'm grateful for that opportunity to redeem myself. I'm grateful for everybody who helped me on my journey. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Abby. Thank you, Bethany Christian Services. And thank you for my 12-step family, my pastor. Thank you so much, Jack, for being here. And thank you, Denijah. I want to thank my granddaughter because she has brought out some things in me that I never thought would come out of me. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of her life. She has helped me so much. I've grown in so many ways, and I just thank God for being here. And I thank God this is the best Thanksgiving I've had in a long time, is to be her grandmama. That's what she calls me, her grandmama. So thank you.
Amen. Thank you. Denijah, anything you would like to say, my dear?
Thank you.
You know what? It's a common story that I hear where we always think that children are blessings to their parents and their grandparents and their families, and we don't realize that the blessing goes both ways. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad that your grandmama could stand up here and talk to us about the wonderful things that you have done for her and made her a better person. And I know that she's helped to make you a better person too. And if we could all do that in each other's lives, this would be a much better world, I think. So thank you for that. Also, I know there's family and friends here. Anybody like to make any comments today? Go right ahead.
Hi, I'm Denijah's and Devetta's daughter, baby girl. And first and foremost, I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. I should see the best mom, but looking at you today, Mama, you are more beautiful than I've seen in a long time. With Denasia, and Denasia, I just want you to know that I'm proud to be your aunt and your new big sister. And Bethany Christian Services, Hannah, the love, communication that you've given us, undescribable. I can't even express how awesome you've been. Ladies are great, and that's all I want to say. I'm just really happy today. I just so happen to have a day off, and I would never Thank you again.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I just want to say that it has been a pleasure. I've known Devetta for about 9 years, and through those 9 years, 4 to 5 of them, I've had the opportunity to mentor her and to support her and to pour into her. And for her to be the woman that she is today, and no matter what challenges came, at times when it looked like it wasn't going to happen, she just did not give up. And it was always about Denasia, and it has been a joy watching Denasia grow up under Devetta and the love and the support that she has. So, and I'm honored when she called and asked me would I come and participate. I literally changed my whole calendar just to be here today.
Thank you.
I love you.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else? I see some agency people back there. I knew it.
It's been a really long journey, as Abby had said, and I'm just so proud of everything that has been accomplished here. It's been a pleasure to work with Denasia for so many years, and just to see her bloom into the young woman she is today, and how far Devetta has come. And I'm just so proud of both of them, and I just have so much love together. I'm so proud of you guys. It's such a happy day.
I'll just add, congratulations, Denasia. You are such a joy. Your personality is going to take you lots of places in this world. And so I'm excited to see what's to come for you. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I'm always humbled when I am attending these hearings because I believe that the grace that is extended in so many different directions, we have no idea. Denasia may have been that drop, that one little drop in the middle of the pond, and we can't ever imagine what the ripples are, all the people that she has affected, and all the people that she will touch in her lifetime. And I'm just glad that I could be here and be one of those people. So I want to share with you the same poem. I want to read it again because it's a really good poem. And like I said, maybe you can put it in your book, and on November 22nd every year, get it out. Maybe you can use it as your Thanksgiving poem some years too, when Thanksgiving ends up a little bit earlier. And again, it was written by Carol Lynn Pearson. It doesn't have a title, but this is what it says. I did not plant you, true, but when the season is done, when the alternate prayers for sun and for rain are counted, when the pain of weeding and the pride of watching are through, then I will hold you high, a shining sheaf above the 1,000 seeds grown wild. Not my planting, but by heaven, my harvest, my own child. So, Grandmama and Denasia, if we can have you come up right around the back. I've got some things for you. I've got my gavel ready. I don't think you'll find anybody else in your class who's done this, Denasia. They may have been adopted, but they've never been adopted here. So, what side do you want to stand on? Oh, this side? All right, super. And we'll have Mom stand over here. I'll give you the poem, Mom.
Thank you.
And here's your... And you know what? Had we known, I had no idea. I would have brought a certificate of sisterhood for your aunt's sister, because we get these great orders that say that she will forever and always be your sister and always love you, which is great, because then when you ruin her stuff, then she has to love you. So maybe we'll get one of those for her, do you think? Okay, we will. This is the State of Michigan 17th Judicial Circuit, Family Division in the County of Kent, Order of Adoption, in the matter of Denasia Lanique Clayton. And what's your date of birth? How about Jenny 21?
2008.
There you go. All right. We have the right girl. They have no identification. I have to check somehow. So, very good. All right. The court finds that a petition for an order of adoption was filed. All necessary orders terminating parental rights have been entered. The adoptee was made awarded the court. And now here goes my disclaimer, all right? That any appeal of the decision to terminate parental rights has reached disposition, that no appeal, application for leave to appeal, or motion for rehearing or reconsideration is pending, and that the time for all appellate proceedings in this matter has expired. The adoption of the adoptee, that's you, by the petitioners, that's your grandmama, is desirable and in the best interest of the adoptee. It is therefore ordered that from and after this date, the parent of the adoptee is Devetta Latrice Clayton.
That's me.
And the name of the adoptee is Denijah Lanique Clayton. And if awarded the court, I discharge you by signing my name. And it's official. Yay! Congratulations, Grandmama. And are you ready to bang the gavel? Oh, you got it. Try. It's really heavy. Don't hit the Chief Justice there. Right? There you go. That was with authority, my dear. Excellent. Excellent. And then here's for you. Can we come down and quick picture? Sure. And you get to pick out your bear, other than the big one. All right? So, come on. Let's go down this way. We can go right around this way. Thank you. Watch your step. And then you got to go straight. And then you got to step down. And which one would you want? I know I want the bigger one. That's what I'm thinking. Usually we have a couple bears, we can't count grab some bears for us. So let's come over here. You can sit right in.
Congratulations.
So there we go. You ready?
Big smile. Hold it.
Thank you so much.
Is that all you got now? Okay. All right. Now we'll move on to Monroe, Judges Lohmeyer and Arnold.
Good morning. I'd like to call in the matters of Brooklyn Marie Shelton and in the matter of Daniel Michael Shelton. Good morning, Eckert family. Thank you for traveling all the way from the southeast corner of the Mitt to be here today.
They're going to get their other two, too.
The videotaping.
Oh,
I'm not going to mention I'm a Michigan State fan.
Well, this seems to be a collegiate theme here. Realize this is Lansing.
Go Blue! Speaking of journeys, like the one you took today to be here, I know that your family has been on a long journey. And at first it may have seemed like it was going to be a short trip. But as we know now, 3 years later, we know that you were here for the long haul. And I know that there have been some bumps in the road and it hasn't always been easy. But I hope you find that the destination, being here today to become a forever family, was worth the trip. So I'd like to begin by getting your names on the record, starting with Mr. Eckert.
My name is Ryan Eckert.
Tina Eckert.
Daniel Eckert. Brock Eckert. Alyssa Eckert. Brooklyn Eckert.
Hi, Brooklyn. Well, we're here just before Thanksgiving, and to me, Thanksgiving is a time for family. It's about going home to family. I know that's what I'm doing on Thursday, going home to my mom and dad's. But I also think that's what adoption is about, going home to family. And the bonds of family are things that are created by a parent's care, a child's trust, your mutual love and affection for each other, and a promise to be there for each other through the good times and the bad. And also, adoption is a gift that goes two ways. I'm sure you know that these two children you're adopting today are a gift to you, but you also are a gift to them. You are a gift in that you are parents who are protecting them, keeping them safe, offering them stability, comforting them when they're upset or ill. You celebrate their achievements, and you dote on them with a mother's tender affection and a father's steadfast loyalty and love. So yesterday, Brooklyn and Daniel may have felt like your children, but today they will be your son and daughter. So I would like you to please raise your right hands to be sworn in to take testimony in support of your petitions for adoption. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Mr. and Mrs. Eckert, I'm going to have you answer in turn. First Mr. Eckert and then Mrs. Eckert. Did you file...
You can put your hands down.
Yes.
It's getting uncomfortable.
Did you file a petition to adopt Brooklyn and Daniel?
Yes.
Yes.
Were all the statements contained in your petitions true?
Yes.
Yes.
Not only are you seeking adoption, but you're also seeking name changes for these children. Is that correct?
Yes. Just for one.
All right. But last names of both?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you known Brooklyn and Daniel?
She's 7 and he's 10, so 7 years and 10 years.
Okay. And how long have you lived in the same home?
Going on 4 years.
Okay. How do you feel toward them? Are you bonded to these children?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Do you understand that if I grant your petition, not only will they be your legal children, but also your legal heirs?
Yes.
Do you understand that if I grant your petition, you will be responsible for the support and maintenance of these children?
Yes.
Yes.
And will you ensure that they have food, shelter, and clothing, and that all of their material needs are met?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Will you continue to provide them with intellectual, spiritual, and moral guidance?
Yes.
Yes.
And will you continue to take them to soup kitchens and do service projects together?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Do you understand that if your request is granted, you will be the parent in all respects, just as if you were the birth parents?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you understand that there may be some little inconveniences over the years in parenting?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And will you accept those inconveniences?
Yes.
Will you provide affection and encouragement?
Yes.
Yes.
And will you love these children unconditionally as though they are your own?
Yes.
Yes.
Is there any reason why you cannot fulfill these obligations?
No.
And do you have any reservations at all?
No.
You've had enough time to think about this. And do you believe that adoption is in Brooklyn and Daniel's best interests?
Yes.
You're also requesting name changes of these children, and Brooklyn would be Brooklyn Marie Eckert, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And Daniel, I heard, was starting to write a different name on his school papers. So Daniel, are you hoping to have a different first name? And can you come up to the microphone and tell me what you would like your first name to be?
Luke.
Luke? All right, my son's name is Lucas, and he's over there. I think you made a wise choice. And you want to keep your middle name of Michael, but also have the last name of Eckert. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And you're here with your cousins, but now after today, do you agree that they will be your brother and your sister?
Yeah.
Is that what you want? Yeah. And is that what you want too, Brooklyn?
Can you see?
Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything that you would like to say that I didn't ask you about already?
No.
And do you, Brooklyn? What would you like to say?
God blessed us with a wonderful family.
I think God did bless you with a wonderful family. I've been so glad to have met your mom and gotten to know her through this case. And I'm very proud and happy that we're finally here today. Is there anybody else who would like to speak from the family in support of the adoption? Yes. You are Miss Eckert's mother, is that correct? And these... Ms. Barnett, you're our Monroe County Adoption Supervisor. First, I just want to recognize all your efforts through the year. You do such a wonderful job and put your heart and best effort into every family you work with. So thank you for being here with us. And is there anything you would like to say in support of the adoption?
Excuse me. Yes, Your Honor. I have been with this family for the last 3 years. Sitting next to Ms. Eckert during every hearing, hoping that she gets some good news. She has been extremely patient, as has Mr. Eckert, but Mr. Eckert's been at work every time we've had hearings. So I've gotten to meet all of the children during the home studies, during the home visits throughout the last few years. I don't believe that Luke or Brooklyn could ask for a better family. They have been extremely, extremely supportive, even when reunification was the plan. They stood by them. And believed that the best effort was to come. They prayed about it. They believed that one day that the kids would be in their forever home, and today is that day. So I just want to thank them for letting me be a part of coming into the home and making sure that it was appropriate, and it certainly is. Monroe County does not have any reservation at all and recommends the adoption.
Have you done an investigation into appeals of this matter?
I have, Your Honor. There are none.
All right. And when did you confirm that?
2 weeks ago. It's in the file at our office.
Thank you. I know you're conscientious about getting in touch with the Court of Appeals as well, so thank you for that. The court finds, based on the testimony and the court taking judicial notice of the guardianship proceedings, the home study and the recommendations made, the court finds as follows: that a petition for an order of adoption has been filed with regard to the child Daniel Shelton II, as well as Brooklyn Marie Shelton. The court finds that all necessary orders terminating parental rights have been entered, and the adoptees were not made wards of the court. And the court finds that any appeal of the decision to terminate parental rights has reached disposition. No appeal, application for leave to appeal, or motion for rehearing or reconsideration is pending, and the time for all appellate proceedings in this matter have expired. The court finds, based on everything presented to the court, that this adoption is desirable and in the best interest of each of these children. So, from and after this date, Ryan Paul Eckert and Tina Nicole Eckert are hereby the parents of Luke Michael Eckert. Congratulations. And from and after this date, the parents of Brooklyn Marie Eckert are Ryan Paul Eckert and Tina Nicole Eckert, and her name shall be Brooklyn Marie Eckert. So congratulations. Before I bring you up here to hit the gavel, I know everybody wants to use that judge hammer. I'd like to leave you with a final thought from author William Ford. He observed that gratitude can transform common days into Thanksgivings and turn routine jobs into joy and change ordinary opportunities into blessings. So to the Eckerts and the other adopting families today, I'd like to say that I'm filled with gratitude on this Tuesday before Thanksgiving, that you have turned a common day into a Thanksgiving for me. And I thank you for helping turn my job into a joy. And may all of us leave here today with a joyful heart and be grateful for ordinary opportunities, that things as simple as going home for Thanksgiving with family are true blessings. So happy Thanksgiving, happy Adoption Day, go blue. Please come forward and strike the gavel.
Good job. Oh, good job. That was well done.
with your orders of adoption. I always think it's only fair for you guys to get to adopt someone. So how about we do it one more time with Brooklyn? You want to give it?
She already.
She did.
You did it?
It's Luke.
You want to hit it right there and say, this adoption is confirmed.
There we go. No, you're good. Big smile. Hold it.
Way to go, grandson.
All right, Justice Young, if I may?
You may.
All right, very good. Good morning. I'm Judge Arnold, the other probate judge in Monroe County, and I'm calling the case in the matter of Jaden and Lena. This is file number 16-4940AM and 16-494-AM. And first, before we begin, I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to the Supreme Court, Justice Young, and being here today, to DHHS and Mr. Lyons being here, as well as SCAO, and being in the midst of such fine jurists, hearing the remarks of Judge Feeney, my colleague Judge Lohmeyer, and especially sitting next to someone who's entering his third decade or is in his third decade as a jurist. I don't think I'm going to make it that long in this business, but it truly is a privilege to be sitting in the midst of everyone here. Thank you all. And before we begin, before I take some testimony, as is the Monroe way and the Monroe custom, I'd just like to echo some of the words that the other judges have stated. Today is not only a celebration of giving thanks and being grateful for the gift of family, but it's celebrating love. And that's been the common theme we've been hearing, that use of the word love. Love isn't something we use, that word isn't something we use a lot in court, and it's something that we need to use a lot more, both in court and in government. There's a lot, as Judge Feeney, you were talking about the types of cases we see, there's a lot of icky and difficult things that us judges oversee. But whenever we can celebrate love and use that word, then that's what the underpinnings of this entire system is all about. Caring for the people that come before us and caring for the people that we serve. And celebrating love. There's only two kinds of proceedings that come before a judge where we use that word frequently. One is marriage, and the union of two people who unite in love and vow their love for one another. And the other is adoption, where we celebrate that love that cements and finalizes once and for all a forever family and a forever home. So it's a great privilege and honor for me to celebrate love, to use that word love in court, and to finally get to meet, even though I've seen the paperwork, to finally get to meet you, Mr. and Mrs. Roos, and meet Jaden and Lena. And also we have another, Lucas must be the big word of the day, because I've heard it 3 times now, because this is soon to be brother Lucas. Big brother Lucas. So that's a common name, and it's great to see you all. Judge Lohmeyer noted that we have a color-coordinated family here in various shades of lavender. Had I known that the prior family was going to be in corn and blue, I would have insisted on green and white, but I won't put that against anyone. But if this were in Judge Arnold's court, there would be a big mug with a Michigan State S on the side of it, sitting right up front here. But regardless of that, had I gotten a memo, I would have worn my lavender tie. In any event, I could speak for a long time, but I'm going to go about the business of confirming this adoption and sealing the deal once and for all. I know that you, Mr. and Ms. Roos, have been on a long journey here. I know what that journey has been about because you kids, Jaden and Lena, you've been on a journey too. I know everything that's going on. I'm so happy for the two of you and that we can be here today and celebrate love and celebrate family and make this a forever family. So with that, what I'd like to do is place the family under oath, ask some questions before I turn to our workers and get their reports and recommendations. So would all of you raise your right hands? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
All right, very good. Everyone's answered in the affirmative. And Mr. and Ms. Roos, I'll start off with you. Please state your full names.
John Roos.
Yes.
Johnny Roos.
All right, and the two of you filed petitions for adoption of Jaden and Lena, and were all the statements in your petitions true?
Yes.
Jaden was born October 16th and is 10 years old?
Yes.
Yes.
And Lena was born August 4th, 2008, so she's 8 years old.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think, Jaden, you told me you're in the 5th grade?
Yes.
And Lena, you told me you're in the 3rd grade. All right, and she's nodding yes, an affirmation here. Mom and Dad, not only are you seeking adoption here, but you're also asking that their last names match up with yours, so there will be a name change here. Is that correct?
Correct.
The last name will be Roos of all of the family members then?
Yes.
Very good. And how long have Jaden and Lena been in your care?
A year.
Yep, just over a year since
Just-
last August.
Just over a year. Okay, very good. And during that time, has a bond formed between you and them?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you understand that with me granting your petition, they will be your children at law and you will assume legal responsibility over them?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you understand that me granting your petition, they will be your heirs at law?
Yes.
And furthermore, can you assure me that you will provide for the kids physically, psychologically, emotionally, and economically?
Definitely.
And ensure all of their academic and medical needs?
Yes.
Yes.
Provide them with guidance?
Yes.
Love them unconditionally?
Yes.
Not spoil or coddle, but love them unconditionally, right? Okay, very good. And the two of you have been married for over 10 years, is that correct? Okay, and Mr. Roos, date of marriage?
Date?
Yes. Anniversary?
This is a test?
2004.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Ms. Roos,
Yeah, I told him it.
you whispered it in his ear. I love to have fun with that, and I always turn to the husband in marital relationships, just as a little, I don't know,
after Thanksgiving.
sadistic side of me, just to see if they remember the anniversary date. Okay, very good. Those are the only questions. That was the only trick question. Before I turn it over to the workers here, let me just ask the family, is there anything that you wish to say on your own behalf? Mr. and Ms. Roos.
I know you always are.
Well, we have some dishes for the kids to do. They got to clean up their rooms, so that's a big task. Thank you so much.
I just want to thank you all today for inviting us here. Thank all of our caseworkers. We've had multiple ones. And just so the kids know that their mom is looking down upon us. And I hope she's crying tears of joy today for us. I know this is what she wanted.
Thank you very, very much. Jaden, Lena, anything that you guys want to say?
I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to say I'm thankful for a loving family.
I'm thankful for that, too. Lucas, is there anything you want to say as big brother here?
Big brother's watching.
They've grown on me, and I love them.
Better.
That's high praise.
Let me ask Jaden and Lena. So, are you okay with me signing the papers to make you a forever family here?
Yes, of
And your last name being? Oh, he's like, yes, of course. You should have seen this. He was quite adamant about this. And your last name being Roos, then? That sound good?
Yep.
Okay. And you know, when I sign all this paperwork, will you promise that you're going to love and listen to your mom and dad here? Okay, very good. And, okay, let me hear from the workers here. And we have Wolverine Adoption Services. And, yes, please state your name.
Sasha Abdullah, and I'm the adoption specialist for Jaden and Lena and Mr. and Mrs. Roos. And I've had the pleasure of working with the family for about 6 months, which has seemed like a short time to me, but I know it's felt like an eternity to them. They've anxiously been waiting to have the official stamp on the adoption. Every time I've been to the home, seen the children, they've been thriving, happy. Mr. and Mrs. Roos have provided a safe and loving home for the kids. So Wolverine is recommending adoption for both Jaden and Elena.
Thank you, Ms. Abdullah. And let me ask from our Monroe County Court Supervisor and Adoption Supervisor, Ms. Burnett.
Yes, Your Honor. I have gone through every paper that's been submitted to the court, read through it. I don't personally know the family, as the agency took care of all of the hard work for me. But I did go through everything. All of the terminations are in place. There are no appeals pending. That has been tracked by both the agency and myself. I just want to thank any family here that has taken the day and the time to adopt children, in this particular case, out of the system. That we need families that are going to take sibling groups out of the state system. So thank you to them and to any of the others that also did the same thing. So Monroe County does recommend the adoption.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Burnett. Are there any comments from anybody else in the assembly on behalf of this family? Anybody? Any objections? No objections today. We're not going to take any objections to this proceeding. Okay, well then I think I'm going to make my order here. Sound good, Jaden?
Yes.
Sound good, Lena? Oh, she gives a big thumbs up here. All right, let me get my order forms. In the matter of Jaden, whose middle name is Anthony, and in the matter of Lena, whose middle name is Lee. Is that right? Okay. Court finds proper petitions are before me. All necessary prior orders have been entered. This situation where the children were made word of the courts. There are no pending appeals here. I find that this adoption by the petitioners is desirable and is in the children's best interest. Therefore, it is ordered from and after today's date that the parents of Jaden and Lena are John Francis Roos and it's Johnny Kathleen Roos. Their names are Jaden Roos and Lena Roos. I'm signing orders to that extent. It is so ordered now and forever. A round of applause and congratulations. And if I may, everyone's brought their judge's mallet with them. Have you ever watched The Avengers?
No.
The Avengers?
Yes.
Thor.
Yes.
Captain America?
Yes.
And you know Thor is one of the Avengers too?
Yes.
So what's the name of Thor's hammer?
I can't remember.
Anybody know the name of Thor's hammer? Mjolnir. That's the name of the hammer. And you know Thor's hammer, that can like level mountains. Judge's hammer, hammer of justice, right? And so in the old days when people would get all quickly in court, we'd say order in the court, order in the court. Now I bring this, as do the other judges, for a special occasion.
I don't have a hammer.
It's the hammer of justice.
He's got it.
So I have the opportunity to slam the gavel right down here, and also making this official and suitable for framing are the actual orders, and my congratulations to you. We'll take some pictures of the bench too.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Give me a hug here. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving. Okay. So, all right. Here's who's going to hold the official certificates here. Okay. And why don't we do this right in front of the justice, right here? He likes that. Can we reach that high? Okay. You want a big whack?
Oh, look out.
Watch out.
You left it.
There you go. All right.
Softball.
Oh, you got it. One of these days I'm going to get grab a chair here and we'll take a picture in front of the bench. All right. Thank you. You're very welcome. Okay, so why don't we gather right over here? And we have judges behind us here. How do you want us to assemble? Got multiple adoptions going on. All right. The big cheese. Thank you. I think that does it.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Well deserved.
Very cool. You want to
Yeah.
And I think that concludes the adoptions from Monroe County.
Well, that then concludes the program for today. I want to thank all of you for coming today, and I want to invite you all to join us on the first floor in the conference center for a lunch to continue the celebration. Thank you very much. We're concluded. Don't forget your